At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu. With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really diving in, embarking on a mission to unpack the incredible launch of Superman 2025, this deep dive. It's basically your shortcut to getting up to speed on its huge box office win, the really positive reviews from critics and audiences alike, and crucially, what this massive success means for the whole future of the DC universe. This film hasn't just shown up. It's really landed with this unprecedented impact. It feels like it's signaling a whole revitalized superhero landscape. So let's kick things off by looking at Superman 2025's just astonishing box office performance. This film, written and directed by James Gunn. You've got David Corenswet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. It officially premiered Friday, July 11th, but those Thursday previews started the day before. And those previews, huge, a massive $22.5 million. That makes it the highest grossing preview day of 2025 so far.
Yeah, and it comfortably beats some big ones like Barbie, even Matt Reeves as the Batman.
Right. And for James Gunn, personally, it was a new record, way past Guardians 3.
Significantly higher than Guardians. And look, it crushed Man of Steel's preview number for a solo Superman film.
Yeah, though it didn't quite hit the Batman v Superman number, but still.
Still very, very impressive for a reboot like this.
Okay, moving into the domestic opening weekend itself, so July 11th, 13th, the film pulls in an estimated, $122 to $123 million.
Which makes it the biggest opening weekend for a solo Superman film ever. Unadjusted, of course, but still beating Man of Steel.
And the biggest superhero movie opening of 2025 so far.
Right. Globally, you're looking at around $217 million total for that opening weekend.
That's the domestic, plus about $95 million international.
Yeah, a really strong start everywhere.
Now, context is important here. The production budget's reported at $225 million, plus, another $150, maybe $200 million for global marketing.
So the break-even point is pretty high, somewhere between $500 and $750 million, give or take.
But the word is Warner Bros. Execs would be happy with anything over $500 million. They're playing the long game.
Exactly. And what's really insightful, I think, is how Superman 2025 didn't just, hit financial targets. It feels like it fundamentally reset the audience's emotional connection with the DC universe.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
It's not just a win. It's a huge validation of this whole new DCU foundation they're building.
And it kept going, right? The midweek numbers.
Yeah, looking at Monday, July 14th, the domestic take was estimated around $16 to $18 million. That shows really healthy audience retention. People aren't just rushing out opening weekend, they're going during the week.
Suggests good word of mouth.
Absolutely. Which is why current projections now have the domestic total looking comfortably over $350 million, maybe even hitting $400 million.
Wow.
And worldwide, that could push it towards $600, maybe even $700 million.
That's definitely hitting those satisfaction markers for Warner Bros.
For sure. And for you, the viewer, this kind of financial success, this stability, it signals that the DCU isn't just, finding its feet again. It's actually building real momentum. It means you can probably count on more high-quality, interconnected stories that you'll actually want to follow. And a small thing, maybe, but the runtime helped too. 129 minutes. Just over 2 hours.
Pretty brisk for a modern blockbuster.
Yeah. Allows for more screenings per day, helps keep those weekday numbers strong.
Okay. But those amazing box office numbers, they're only half the picture, right?
Right.
What really seems to be driving this, and maybe what's even more vital for the DCU's future, is the reception. It's been overwhelmingly positive from critics and audiences.
That's the key combo.
On Rotten Tomatoes, you've got an 82% certified fresh score. That's from over 300 critics, so a pretty wide sample.
Solid critical score, definitely.
But the audience score, the popcorn meter, it's even higher. I'm hovering around 95, 96%.
Wow.
From over 10,000 verified reviews. That's exceptional enthusiasm from the public.
And that's huge, because historically, Superman films haven't always hit that high with audiences on RT.
Right. This is the first time a Superman movie broke 90% audience approval there. It even beats Donner's original Superman from '78.
Which is saying something. Donner's film is iconic.
And these scores aren't just initial hype. They've held really steady past opening weekend.
Yeah, and that consistency is so important. You see it reflected elsewhere, too. Metacritic, a generally favorable 68 out of 100 from critics.
Okay.
And a strong user score there, too, 7.7 out of 10.
And Cinema Score, the exit polls.
A solid A. That's a fantastic grade.
Mhm.
It directly points to positive word of mouth, which is crucial for legs at the box office.
Absolutely.
And then there's post-track surveys, which dig a bit deeper. They showed an impressive 78% definite recommend from general audiences.
78% definite recommend. That's really strong.
It is. And interestingly, parents gave it a perfect 5 out of 5 stars. Kids rated it 4.5 out of 5.
So it's hitting across the board, families included.
Big time. Strong approval across demographics.
It's just clear the film really, really resonated. And you have to think a huge part of that is the cast.
Oh, definitely.
David Cornswet's performance as Clark Kent and Superman,
Yeah.
just widely praised. He seems to perfectly capture that classic idealism, that earnestness, but with a fresh, modern feel.
Mm-hmm. He embodies both sides so well. And yeah, the physical transformation didn't hurt either.
Ah, no kidding. And Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. People love her. Sharp, smart.
And the chemistry between her and Cornswet's palpable, right?
Totally. And because their relationship is already established in the film, you get that immediate emotional connection. No need for a slow burn origin romance.
Which was a smart move. Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, too, getting good notices.
Yeah, a different take. Intellectual menace, nuanced.
Avoids caricature, which is good.
Yeah.
And the supporting cast, all those other heroes.
Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Guy Gardner.
Right. They bring the wider DC universe to life, but without, hijacking the main Superman story.
It feels balanced. And overall, the tone, guided by Gunn's vision. Everyone seems to agree.
Yeah.
Hopeful, optimistic, fun.
A refreshing change, wasn't it? Especially for the DC brand lately.
Definitely. It really hits those core Superman values. Gunn talked about making it a story about human kindness, about hope, kindness, and truth.
And it feels like that landed. That consistent acclaim from critics and audiences is just so vital for the DCU's future, especially given, the challenges they've had before.
Right, like Man of Steel. Financially, it did okay.
Yeah, decent numbers, but critically divisive. That shaky foundation really impacted the whole DCEU going forward.
So Superman 2025 learned from that.
It seems so. They clearly prioritized getting both the critics and the audience on board by going back to Superman's hopeful, optimistic core. And look, it clearly paid off. This broad appeal, the positive buzz, that's what gives a franchise real longevity.
So for us, for you watching at home,
It means you can probably expect a more cohesive, more satisfying viewing experience from DC now. It builds trust. You're more likely to show up for the next film, the next series, because you believe in the quality and the vision.
Okay, so let's unpack that. What does this all mean for the future of the DCU? Because it feels like this film is foundational, really setting the stage for this whole ambitious new era.
No question. The success here, it just unequivocally validates Gunn and Peter Safran's whole DCU Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters strategy.
Sets a high bar right out of the
A
gate.
very high bar. It proves Gunn's specific style, that mix of humor, heart, character focus, respect for the comics, can work on a massive scale.
Connects with critics and the general audience.
Exactly. Which is a powerful endorsement, especially after, the previous DCEU's ups and downs and the bold move to recast Superman, moving on from Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that was a big gamble.
Huge. And Gunn himself has said, look, success isn't just about hitting $700 million worldwide. It's about building the brand long-term, getting audiences positively engaged.
Right. Which brings us to Superman 2, not officially announced beforehand.
But you gotta think those discussions are happening right now very seriously.
A direct sequel with Cornswet feels like a lock, doesn't it?
Pretty much guaranteed. Gunn even hinted before release he had ideas for a follow-up.
So timeline-wise,
Yeah.
usually 2-3 years for a sequel?
That's typical. But Gunn's recent comments were interesting. He said he's working on something that's a Superman follow-up in some way, and that we'll see Superman again in less than a couple of years.
Huh. So maybe not a direct Superman 2 next.
Could be. Maybe his next appearance is in a team-up, a crossover event. It keeps things fresh.
That is exciting. And the film itself, the ending, clearly tees up future stories for Clark, right? His whole journey balancing identities, relationships.
Absolutely. The stage is set.
Yeah.
And this win provides huge momentum for the entire Chapter 1 slate.
Like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, coming in 2026.
Definitely. The success of Superman has got to boost excitement for Millie Alcock as Kara Zor-El, especially with that post-credits scene you mentioned. Supergirl crashing into the Fortress of Solitude.
A little worse for wear, apparently, picking up crypto.
Yeah, it sets up her solo film perfectly and shows a real contrast between the cousins right away.
And Peacemaker, his cameo in Superman.
Brief, but telling. On a TV news broadcast mocking Superman's no-kill rule.
Classic Peacemaker.
Right. It connects the characters, shows their different approaches, builds that continuity ahead of Peacemaker Season 2 next month on Max.
And Lanterns, the Max series. Guy Gardner showing up in the movie helps that too.
For sure. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, part of that Justice Gang in the movie, helps establish the tone, the vibe for the Lanterns show, even if that series is supposed to be more of a gritty, Earth-based investigation.
It all feels connected.
Very much so. The Brave and the Bold, the Batman and Robin film with Damian Wayne that now launches into a DCU with positive buzz. Even The Authority. You see the engineer, Angela Spica, played by Maria Gabriela de Faria, in Superman.
Right, she's there in the climax.
Yeah, left unconscious. It neatly sets up the Authority movie, that potentially darker, more complex team.
So many threads. Clayface, Swamp Thing.
All those announced projects under Chapter 1, they all benefit from this wave of enthusiasm and confidence generated by Superman.
It feels of genuine world building. That Justice Gang you mentioned, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, Green Lantern.
Even if they don't call themselves the Justice League yet, it
Right.
lays the groundwork. It shows the potential for a bigger team down the line. It makes this universe feel populated and real from the start. Keanu Williams is even listed in the cast, playing someone at the Daily Planet, just adding to that fabric.
It's a very different feeling than the start of the last go-around.
Completely different. This feels planned, cohesive. For you, the viewer, it means you're not just watching isolated movies. You're getting drawn into a bigger, interconnected story that seems to actually know where it's going. It's a game changer.
Okay, let's dig a bit deeper then. Let's shift and really explore how this film manages to deliver more than just, big action.
Yeah.
The thematic stuff, the performances, this sort of cultural comeback for Superman.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
We touched on the cast chemistry already, but it's worth saying again. Corin Sweat, nailing that Clark-Superman duality.
That endearing awkwardness as Clark, but undeniable presence as Superman. Masterful.
And Brosnahan's Lois. So sharp, so intelligent, that chemistry just pops.
And Holtz Luthor, again, avoiding the usual tropes. That cold, obsessive intellect is quite chilling.
And the whole supporting cast, the metahumans, they just bring the world alive.
They really do. It feels like a lived-in universe.
And thematically, the film really seems to resonate. Gunn focusing on truth, justice, kindness.
Those core Superman values, it feels like they landed with audiences in a big way.
He's portrayed as a symbol of hope, right? Not just power.
Exactly. And that feels, well, needed right now. An optimistic counterpoint in a superhero landscape that's often pretty dark or cynical.
That mix Gunn does so well. Epic action, but also real heart. And that touch of humor.
It creates a really balanced tone, doesn't it? Critics and audiences both seem to find it refreshing.
The film explores being good in a cynical world. Superman as this immigrant embodying American ideals.
Themes that strike a chord, and it even touches on how public opinion can be manipulated, how figures like Luthor can twist a hero's image.
Which feels very relevant today.
Definitely reflects some current anxieties. And what's fascinating is how these themes and performances connect directly to your experience as a viewer. Why is this shift in tone, this focus on hope and kindness, hitting so hard now?
Yeah, why?
Well, I think audiences are genuinely hungry for stories that uplift, that inspire, especially after years of maybe darker, more deconstructionist takes on heroes. It signals a potential future for superhero stories generally, maybe moving back towards embracing the core virtues that made these characters endure in the first place.
So it's not just a DC thing, it's broader.
Could be. And you see that commitment to the character's roots in the film itself, like bringing in Krypto, the superdog.
Who's apparently pretty integral.
Right. Not just a cute cameo. Adds charm, humor, grounds it in the comics.
And the hypnotic glasses explanation for his identity.
A clever little nod. It shows Gunn isn't afraid to embrace the comic bookness of it all, but without making it overly campy.
It celebrates the source material.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same with focusing on Clark at the Daily Planet. With Jimmy Olsen and Perry White, it highlights journalism, truth, themes Gunn cares about.
So for you watching, it allows for a deeper connection.
I think so. It makes Superman's journey, his values, feel relevant personally. It reminds you that great stories need more than just spectacle. They need themes and characters that resonate on a human level.
It really is something, isn't it? For years, people asked if Superman was still relevant, if his goodness was like old-fashioned in our cynical world.
That was the narrative, yeah.
But Superman, 2025, just powerfully shut that down. It proved audiences do still crave earnest heroism. They leaned into the optimism, the morality.
And it worked. Big time. The message of kindness, of humanity, it clearly resonated deeply. It's a positive counterstory.
And think about the timing. Superhero fatigue has been this buzzword. But this film proves that if you have quality, a clear vision, a compelling story executed well, people will show up in massive numbers.
It absolutely sets a new benchmark. Quality trumps fatigue.
And for David Corenswet, wow, he's the new Superman now for a whole generation.
No doubt. His debut is so strong, he's firmly established as the face of this revitalized DCU.
He could be embodying this character for years, defining Superman for a new era, like Christopher Reeve did back in '78.
That's the potential, absolutely.
So, okay, let's wrap this up. The core takeaway from this deep dive seems clear. Superman 2025 didn't just, fly, it soared. Powerful opening, strong legs, completely validating Gunn's vision and Corenswet's portrayal.
A massive success by pretty much every metric.
Yeah, and this deep dive really highlights how going back to core values, having a clear, hopeful vision can totally reignite an icon. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If Superman can remind us what it means to be truly good, what other classic heroes out there are just waiting for their own optimistic revival?